So it's not all been terrible news for Oklahoma. Thursday into Friday, they did receive some recruiting predictions favoring the Oklahoma Sooners for some 4-star prospects. We'll discuss those guys coming up next here on Locked On Sooners.
You are Locked On Sooners, your daily podcast on the Oklahoma Sooners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thanks again for making Locked On Sooners your first listen every single day. Shout out to all the everydayers out there tuning in. Subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. We're going to have some Champion barbecue thoughts coming up in the third segment, but we're going to start here on Thursday. Oklahoma received a pair of predictions for Dallas Dickerson, the wide receiver out of Georgia, the speed demon out of Georgia. OU Insiders Parker Thune projected Oklahoma to be the landing spot, but also Sam Spiegelman, a national recruiting analyst, also projected Oklahoma to be the landing spot for Dallas Dickerson.
Yeah, Spiegelman said Rivals as well. Yeah, so formerly from On3. Wow, that's kind of crazy that you get a national guy as well as a local guy. Once you get a local guy, they usually are plugged in and get some type of info. But when the national guys start jumping in, it usually means a lot of whispers are happening. And I know Oklahoma was battling Georgia. His final three was actually Georgia Tech, Kentucky, and Oklahoma. He posted a tweet out before his commitment date, which is coming up. That's a pretty big deal for Oklahoma. We could use a nice 6-foot wide receiver who's fast. He's also a track kid, and so we know that he does hit the track himself. I have to find his numbers again and what speeds he had, but 6'1", 180, John, can you beat that? Like, is there a complaint in your part of having a guy that's speedy and that size on this team?
No, give me that speed. Give me that size for sure. Man, 247 doesn't even have it. Usually they're the ones that have the track speeds, but
here it is. His personal record in the 100 is a 10.4. He ran a 10.6 when he won the state championship in the 100-meter dash. I knew I had it in front of me. I just closed the wrong tab, so my bad, y'all. But at the same time, 10.6, 10.4, 10.4 to 10.6 range, yeah, that's lightning fast for a nice size wide receiver, especially at 6'1", roughly 180 pounds. If Oklahoma can close that deal, yeah, we put ourselves in a very good position going forward.
So he's seen as a 4-star by Rivals, a 3-star other places, but from what I understand, he's been really, really good on the camp circuit.
Yes.
And could really see his numbers start to fly up the charts and maybe finish as a top 25 wide receiver. Right now he's sitting closer in the 40s range, but you can't teach speed. And that's one of those things that he has, and he has it in spades. If you can pair that with a Daniel Odom, who's got that size, that frame to be that possession type receiver, and then you can throw a guy like Dallas Dickerson on the other side, being the burner, going deep, winning deep, stretching the field. I think that makes for a good balance in what you have. And you kind of need some speed. You haven't been able to find that yet. You had Jaquays Petaway, you've had, KJ Daniels. You just haven't been able to unlock those guys just yet. Yeah. Or Zion Reagans. You need to find a speed guy that can help take the top off the defense and make things a lot easier for your offense.
Especially when it's clocked a 4.42 40-yard dash. And it looks like On3 says that the best they've seen is like a 10.36, so roughly a 10.4. So, yeah, crazy. Having a guy to blow off the top, just like you said, but at the same time having him that big in size, that's a massive advantage you'll get out there. You could throw him on the outside and you just launch it and let it go. It's hard to find guys at the 4.4 speed and still be that big. I mean, it's a lot more common as you see it, when you see recruiting nowadays, especially at the wide receiver or just the athlete position itself. But Dallas Dickerson could be a pretty good game-changing guy. So you got Ja Tech, Kentucky, in which L.D. Washington, the former wide receiver coach at Oklahoma, is actually there recruiting him to Kentucky as well. So, hey, you got a lot of ties in the capacity of Oklahoma, but I think that the Sooners can probably seal the deal.
And don't sleep on either of those schools.
Oh, at all.
And their wide receiver recruiting history, because they find some absolute gems and they get some big time talents at those schools. Was Georgia Tech was Calvin Johnson, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Megatron was from there.
So Don't let the Georgia Tech thing fool you. They find some really, really good players from time to time. So Dallas Dickerson projected to Oklahoma by Parker Thune and Sam Spiegelman. The other one, the number one player in the state of Oklahoma, depending on where you look, Taj Overton, projected to land with the Sooners. Oddly enough, not by anybody in the Oklahoma sphere. It's from a Ole Miss and SMU recruiting analyst. This one comes from, what was his name? Billy Embody, projecting Oklahoma to be the landing spot for Taj Overton.
That's a fascinating one. Now, that goes back to the OK Prep agenda that your boy has always been pushing. I am huge on us getting guys from in-state. Taj coming from Owasso, he's one that I've always said that Oklahoma needs to land, 6'2", 275, probably a lot bigger than that now. He's a nice, thick kid, and he's one that, Oklahoma needs to land him. Like, in-state kid, and I think he's taller than 6'2" and a half. BV standing next to him is down by at least a couple inches, so he's more in the 6'4"-ish range, but I know that he's good. Very talented, strong, and I like the fact that we're you get predictions from folks from other programs that are really recruiting the heck out of them. This must mean that Ole Miss probably didn't think they have as much of a chance as they thought they did, and that's, to me, a good thing for Oklahoma.
Yeah, Ole Miss has done some really nice things on the recruiting trail, and they've been able to develop some strong interior defensive line play over the years. Don't sleep on this one. He's got some really good offers, even though he's from Oklahoma. I mean, he's got offers from Ole Miss, LSU, Auburn, Nebraska, Texas A&M, Miami, Florida, Tennessee, Washington, Texas, SMU, Arkansas, Arizona State, Kansas, TCU, Michigan State, Wisconsin. Michigan State, mind you, that's been a thorn in Oklahoma prep recruiting for years. Houston, who's got the bags to offer, Oklahoma State, Iowa State, UCF, Kansas State, Tulsa, and Utah. Dang. So very much a national recruitment for Taj Overton, and shout out to him and Owasso for being able to create that much buzz for him. But a 4-star prospect, according to Rivals, ESPN, and 247. He's a 4-star on the On3 composite, but just a really, really talented player. And somebody that, again, if you can get him added to what you've already built along the defensive line, you're starting to stack those really strong interior players.
Yeah, you add him with a Brian Harris, in which we've seen him. He was the MVP over there at, the Under Armour Next camp, or the defensive MVP. Those are the type of players you want to stack up, ones that are winning at camp that everybody's really paying attention to. It's okay sometimes to get diamonds in the rough out there too, but you also want to land some of the guys that you feel like a quote-unquote for sure type talent. I think Tajh is one of those. Like I said, 247, it has him as a top 200 player in the country, number one in the state. And he's overall in a consensus composite for On3, 255. So he's top 300 easily. And he's going to do nothing but continue to rise, especially through this season. So Oklahoma kind of needs that. I'm waiting for somebody else to drop a prediction. I haven't seen a lot of action on it, but the good thing is we're going to talk about Champion Barbecue Weekend anyway, and he is expected to be here this weekend. So Brian Harris will have an opportunity to do even more peer recruiting while he's in town. To me, that's a huge deal.
Yeah, this is very much a top priority weekend for guys like Todd Bates, Miguel Chavis. They're going to be front row center